everybody, this is Debbie from Pace Visa. Welcome back to our channel. And on this video today, I'm going to be sharing about how to write a letter of explanation for your Canadian study visa. As you all know, Canada does not offer interviews, and so your letter of explanation for your Canadian study visa is almost like an interview, and that's where you are supposed to convince the official about your eligibility, your legitimacy, and your intentions of returning back to your home country. The letter of explanation is used to assess three things. One is your legitimacy, as I just said. Are you a legitimate student? Are you actually going to Canada to study, or do you have other intentions? The second thing is your capacity. That means your financial capabilities. Are you able to sponsor yourself, or if you're being sponsored, do you have a strong financial sponsor? The third criteria is your intentions to return back to your home country. That is, after your study abroad, do you have the intentions of going back to your home country, or do you have intentions of staying back in Canada? So let's get straight to the video. If you need the actual template from this video, you can click on the link below and it will take you to a PDF file. The first thing you want to include on your letter of explanation is an introduction. This is where you go over the general your general application. That is, what is your name, what country you're applying for, what school you applied to, just general information. This is not where you go into in-depth information. You're just basically introducing yourself. The second thing you want to include on your letter of explanation is your educational background. This is where you want to go into details about your educational background, your education, that is maybe where you did your undergraduate, what school you're applying for your degree in Canada. And if you were an excellent student, if you are an excellent student, and if you performed well in your last degree, this is where you want to brag about it, go into details about how you were an outstanding student and why you would be an outstanding student given the opportunity to study in Canada. This is not the place to be humble. This is where you actually want to brag about yourself. So whatever it is you've studied, whatever certifications you have, just that is related, that would add to your point of studying that particular course you want to study in Canada, you want to include all those points as much as possible. At Pace Visa, we always advise that the course you're planning to study, if you're studying a master's degree, is related to your undergrad degree or your work experience, because this would make it easier to explain why you're actually studying the course you plan to study for your master's degree in Canada. The second thing you want to include is a work experience or work background, and this is relative. If you're going for a master's degree and you have a gap year, that means you after your undergrad degree you took some years before applying for a master's degree. You want to explain what you've been up to since you graduated from your undergrad degree. And in this section, if it actually relates to the course you plan to study in Canada, this is where you actually want to link what you plan to study and your work experience together. If your reason for going back home, that means your home ties, is your work, this is where you want to include why you would plan to go back to your country. If you have employment waiting for you back home from your work background or whatever, this is where you want to include these details. The third thing you want to include is your family background, and this is where you go into details about your family. There are two ways to prove home ties. The first way is through family ties or work ties. So if your plan is to prove your home ties through family, this is where you want to go into details about the relatives you have back at home, um, back in your home country, and why it is imperative that you return back to them after your studies. The fourth thing you want to include on your letter of explanation is your course of study and your university of choice. This is where you want to explain why you chose your course of study And as I earlier explained, if it's related to your previous educational experience background, or if it's related to your previous work background, this is where you want to link it together, why you chose this course and how it is related to your background. Also, you want to explain why you actually chose the particular university you chose in Canada, why, what made it stand out to you. You want to explain if you got references from your friend or whatever it is that made the university stand out. You want to show that you have a personal experience or personal interest in this university and or college, and that is why you chose that particular college or university to study at in Canada. The next thing you want to include on your letter of explanation is the reason why you're choosing to study in Canada. Because let's be honest, if this course of study exists back in your home country, why are you not studying it in your home country? So before the question even arises, you want to counter the question with an answer by telling them what interests you, why you're choosing to study in Canada instead of your home country. This is not a section to knock down your home country. This is a section to focus on why it is better to study in Canada than in your home country. Say the facilities at your school of choice is much better than the ones that are available in your home country, or that they offer various researches, something that is going to prove your reason for why you're choosing to study in Canada rather than in your home country. The next part you're going to include in your letter of explanation is your home ties. Because this question, as I said earlier, is going to arise, and so therefore you want to have already answered this question to for the official before they even ask it at all, you know. So if it's based on work ties, you want to emphasize why you're planning on coming back to your own country after studying um, in Canada. Or if it's based on family, if you have a fiance back at home that you plan to return to after your study, this is where you want to emphasize that. The last part you want to include in your letter of explanation is a closing or a summary. This is where you basically thank the official, because it's going to be an official that is handling your case. So you want to thank the official for taking their time to go over your case, and you hope for a positive response for them. You state that you plan to be a law abiding student in Canada, and you just basically close up, round up everything you just stated in your letter of explanation. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions, you can send us a message on Instagram or on our email account, which will all be linked down below. We offer 2 free consultations in a month. So if you would like to consult with us for free, you can just comment below and we'll pick at random whoever we decide to go with. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can subscribe, like, and even share to some of your friends that you know would find this video helpful. Have a good time, guys.